Namaskar. I'll explain that in a moment, what is Namaskar. But first, I think I need to introduce myself because this is the first video that you're seeing in our course, in this beautiful course, in which you can pass from level to level and elevate your mind, your body, and get a better relationship with the whole society also. It is a comprehensive course. Who am I? I am Dada Dharma Ved Ananda, and I have been doing this work with meditation and yoga since 1971. I've been teaching these things, which is maybe long before some of you who are seeing this were born, and others are older, I know. And more recently, from about 20 years ago or so, I started practicing natural therapy as a therapist and teaching, and we have students all over the world now. It's a global movement. So that's me. Now, I told you Namaskar when I started, and this is a beautiful word and a beautiful gesture, and it means with all of my mind and all of my heart, I recognize and salute the divinity in you. So it's a very good way to greet anybody, to leave anybody, and very important, it's a very good way for you to start and finish each of your meditation sessions. So this talk just now, it is about the purpose, the value of meditation. Why should you learn? Well, you may have any of many different motivations, and all of them are good. I respect them all, unless you want to learn meditation in order to do something dastardly to get concentration. And no, I'm sure you're not learning for that reason. But you may very well be learning because you want to become free of your anxiety, from your stress. And the fact is that when you make a survey of all the mental problems that are faced in this world today, you'll find that anxiety has now surpassed the number of people who are experiencing psychological depression. It has become so serious. Just nervousness, a kind of constant or extremely frequent nervousness. And in the yoga path, in the meditation path, we recognize that when you worry about something, it is very similar to praying for that thing to happen. Because the more that you will think negative things, then it is attracting that negative energy and causing it actually to have a better chance of happening. Rather, we suggest when you have any disturbing thought, you should throw it away. But people say, when they hear this, oh, but if I have a disturbing thought, shouldn't I get into it? Shouldn't I explore it? And the thing is that when you read a book and you're in the middle of the book, you don't know what happens in the end. So you're excited with it. You're not worried about it. So here is a technique which will enable you to recognize that you don't know what is going to happen in your life. And I can guarantee you that the further that you move on this psycho-spiritual path, the more you will get the experience, and you will realize that every single thing that's happening in your life ultimately has a good purpose, especially to help you to grow and develop yourself so that you can fulfill the potential of your being. So we want to overcome anxiety for sure, because it is an obstacle. But if we take medicines for that, you're watching this now, I'm sure you have dismissed the idea you hope to get free of if you're using these psychotropic medicines. psychotropic medicines, which are having all of their side effects. So meditation is natural. Now, what are other reasons? Very connected with that, you might have insomnia. So here's my guarantee. I'm telling a few different things, and in my next video I'm going to explain how it happens. But here's my guarantee, that whatever problem you have, which is the most serious in your life right now, you may or may not know it. And I'm not talking about a financial problem. I'm talking about a problem which is in your mind, problem of your being, problem of your health, problem of your well-being. It is my guarantee that you will see that whatever bad habits you have, step by step, the worst of them is going to be touched from the beginning that you start to do meditation, and you will start to see these difficult things of your mind diminishing and changing in a good direction. I'm guaranteeing that 100% money back. Now, if your most severe problem, as I say, you may or may not know your most severe problem is insomnia, you will see that when you do meditation, it is definitely helping you to sleep better. Not necessarily if it is your third or fourth most important problem. That may take a little bit more time. But in much of insomnia, it is caused by anxiety, which is coming up during the night, and you can replace it with your meditation process even while you're lying in the bed, which you will be able to do because you will have learned it very nicely. Or maybe you're sick. Maybe you have high blood pressure, or heart problem, or obesity, or some kind of addiction, or cancer. And in each and every one of these cases, number one, where there is addiction, because addiction is often the cause of other kinds of problems, you'll be able to gain a handle on that addiction so that it is disturbing you gradually less and less and less. How? I'll explain in the next class. Along with gaining a handle over whatever addictions are disturbing you, you're filling yourself with positive energy because the target, the thought of meditation, is a purely positive one that I'll be explaining. So when any kind of disease, it is always related to negative thinking in every case. So we are going to replace that. Now, on the other hand, you may just want to become happy. Well, unhappiness, quite simply speaking, is negative thinking. So we're freeing ourselves from negative thinking, and automatically we start to become more happy. Well, at the same time, the mind becomes a little bit more clear what I should do, how I should spend my time, how I can have a life which is more purposeful and meaningful. These things become very clear. Step by step, they become more and more clear in meditation. Or maybe you want to practice meditation because it will help your concentration, which you want to use in your business, or you would like to be a better student. And of course, the first thing of meditation is concentration. The object is tremendously interesting. Again, in the next class, I'll be talking about that. Now, I had a student who was a golfer, and his game was rather mediocre. He was actually at that time 70 years old. And he started practicing meditation and used a visualization process. He became the best golfer in the whole of his city, which was Cebu, among the senior division. And then they kicked him out of the senior division. They said, "You're too good." And then so he entered the junior division, the younger people, and he still won the first place in that city over and over again. And what he would do is before each game, before each match, he would sit and do meditation. Other golfers, they wanted to also learn to get advantage of it, but his motivation was very pure. He still is there. He's a spiritually aspiring individual with a very good motivation. So I'm not saying that it's a trick that you can use in that way, but it is very effective. in making you much more efficient, much more concentrated for whatever good thing that you're doing. Or you may be learning because you want to become more creative, to tap your intuition for a good purpose. And intuition is nothing other than concentrated intellect. You're trying to think of something, you get concentration on that, automatically you get deep knowledge on it. This I'll talk about in another class, the details of that. Or now we're going closer to my favorite purposes. As you're doing meditation, you will slowly be more and more coming in contact with your inner being. You'll be unveiling your inner being, your inner consciousness, which is the most beautiful aspect of our entire existence. And if we go even one step further than that, the more a person will follow this path, the more they will gradually lose their self-centeredness, their selfishness, and the more they will feel, I only want to do good with my being. And this is extremely vital to becoming a channel of what I will call the cosmic mind, the universal consciousness. And that, as far as I'm concerned, is a huge part of the target of meditation and the spiritual life and the holistic life. So more about that in the next class. Thank you very, very much. Namaskar.